Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have a fun video for you, just giving you some tips and tricks on some makeup. And so today we're talking about oily skin and makeup for oily skin, what works best, what doesn't. So if you're interested in seeing what I have to say, then please keep watching. So if you're someone that has some oily skin and you have a hard time with your makeup because you get oily throughout the day and the makeup doesn't last, this video is for you. I'm going to be sharing some professional makeup artist tips for people with oily skin. So first things first, consider using some different skincare when you have oily skin, just because you want to maybe use some products that are going to balance out the oils in your skin. So maybe, consider including a niacinamide into your skincare routine. That is going to essentially calm down the oils in your skin, so that way you don't notice too much oils peeking throughout the day and too many oils peeking through your makeup. So that's number one. Just consider changing up your skincare routine a little bit. Second tip that I have is to use an oil controlling or a mattifying primer. Smashbox has really fantastic primers. So they have primers for all skin types, and also they have an oil control one as well that I really love. MAC has some oil control primers that are fantastic as well. So maybe consider just using some oil control products. If I wouldn't recommend you use those like all over your face, just because it's probably something that you'll want to use like only in certain areas where you tend to get oily, just because you don't want the rest of your makeup to look unnecessarily matte. So maybe just try to use those products in any small areas where you notice you have more oils. So typically if you notice you get more oily throughout the T-zone, then just maybe use those products in those areas. That way you don't overly mattify the rest of your skin. That brings me to my third tip, which is pretty similar. Consider using a mattifying foundation. So typically mattifying foundations are the ones that do not say glowy or water-based or oil-based foundations. You could possibly use a water-based foundation, but typically anything oil-based is just going to make you look more oily throughout the day. So try using something a little bit more on the mattifying side. If you're someone that doesn't like matte foundations, but you tend to get a little bit oily in certain areas, maybe in your T-zone, you could even use just like a regular foundation on the outer portions of your face, and then more towards the inner portion where you tend to get more oily, you can use a mattifying foundation just in those areas. I've seen plenty of people do that, use a more mattifying foundation like in the inner portion of the face where they tend to get more oils, and then a normal foundation everywhere else. If you're someone that suffers with just like selective oils like that, that might be something that you would go for. I personally love Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. It is mattifying, but not super matte to where you look very dry. So that one I do consider to be a great option for oily skin. But the next tip that I want to give is just maybe to consider repairing your foundation instead of applying a ton of products or mattifying products before, because it can make the foundation look a little bit weird and wonky. So what I mean to say with that is, if you notice that you have oily skin throughout the day, maybe just bring some items to touch up your foundation and your makeup instead of trying to apply all of these mattifying products beforehand. Because what can happen is that if you sometimes those mix in with the natural oils of your skin and it can look even worse. So maybe just consider using a normal face routine and then bringing some items to control your oils throughout the day. So maybe in your purse, you can carry some oil blotting sheets and some translucent powder. So that way you can just go repairing your foundation throughout the day instead of just applying all of those products beforehand. You really don't want to load up the skin with a lot of mattifying products. If you go in with a mattifying primer and then a mattifying foundation and you use a lot of powder because you think that that's all gonna seep through, that's just gonna make your foundation not sit well throughout the day, and it's going to end up breaking up really strange. So try to get like a nice balance of it. You don't want to go super hard with some mattifying products and then have it look really bad as it wears off throughout the day. So maybe just have like a nice, you know, in between, and then that way you can just go repairing it throughout the day, you know, maybe touch it up when you notice that you get a little bit oily. Just bring some extra powder with you. And then that's really like the biggest tip that I want to give, is that, you know, just embrace the oils that you have. But if you feel like you want to tone it down slightly, then just bring some stuff to touch up throughout the day. You know, oils are very nice on the skin sometimes, you know. If you can embrace it, that's even better, because people with oily skin tend to have, you know, less wrinkles, less aging. Their foundation tends to sit nicer, because oils kind of just like favor skin texture. People with lots of oils tend to not have lots of dryness, which dryness and makeup, they hate each other. They're polar opposites. So if you can embrace your oils, that would be great. Just like go for it, you know. And then if anything, just touch it up throughout the day. That's usually like the best thing that I would consider. So those are my main tips for today for people with oily skin. If you guys have your own tips that you'd like to share with the community, then just leave it down in the comments section. I would love to know you guys' opinion. And if you've tried any of these tips and they worked out for you, let me know as well. I'd love to know what you guys think. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and were able to learn something new. If you would like me to make up any other tip videos, please let me know as well. I'm totally open to suggestions. So yeah, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the description for all my social media, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.